Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to Anime Relatable. We are excited for another Friday. It's another day to just enjoy the blessings. You know what I mean? Enjoy another day to be able to take advantage of it. And I'm excited. I always look forward to these to close to the weekend. Can I get to interview some really dope manga artists and specifically Black manga artists because we have a lot to contribute to the world. And this person that I have on is no less. He does not fall short of that, right? He is a goat. He is aspiring goat. He's going up there. He he should be art. Like I've never had that done before. Like I have a best friend that's a manga artist as well. He's never drawn me art before. So I mean him got to talk, but I'm excited. I'm excited for who we have on today. I have my guy on Prince Pandora. I wish I had my clap button because we would definitely be clapping right now. But nonetheless, you deserve to clap. So let's go put it right there.
You already know the energy we on, man.
Yeah. So, yo, I'm excited to have you on, man. Thank you for just taking this time out to just chop it up with me and drop a little interview and stuff. So, before we get into the nitty gritty, I would love to just know your backstory, man. Love to know how you got into art, where you're from, what inspired you, all of that. We could take it one at a time. But
all right. First I want to say is thank you for having me on. This is a great opportunity. God bless you, brother, man.
yeah,
My backstory. It was the summer of '82. I remember I was a young lad sitting on the harbor. But I'm from South Carolina. A lot of my childhood, I've always been drawing. So it's not like something I just picked up out of nowhere. As far as I can remember, I always been doing art. And one of the first few things I always draw, weirdly enough, was the Powerpuff Girls. And I have them kind of in the boy version. And there was the boys, the Rowdy Rough Boys, and I kind of made a version of that called the X Boys. And, it was all blocky, but I was always having fun drawing. And people always say, you should make a career out of this. But I don't know. It was, to me, I always wanted to do this, but I felt at the time when I was a kid that no one really wanted to pay for comics, especially, when I'm not good at the moment. But I kept going and going. And I think one manga that really got me into making my own comic is Kingdom Hearts. Because they had a manga series come out, and it was Kingdom Hearts 2, the one I was reading. Because I remember I played Rechain of Memories, and then I found the Kingdom Hearts 2 manga somehow in the library, and I read it, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I was like, man, I wanted my character to do that. Because a lot of time I was just drawing just to draw stuff, and it wasn't my own creation. So when I was a teenager, around 13, I think I made one of my first stories. It was called Oblivion, but I never really wrote it out. It was just kind of an idea concept that I have a few drawings for, and I would do that from time to time. It was, my hood just fell off. No. The hoodie got to stay on. But it was like that. And had a lot of people inspire me when I was a kid. I had a friend who had comics of his own. He was doing Dragon Ball Z inspired stuff, and he would make his own fan comic of that. And that also really got me into it. I was like, it's kind of like someone is making a story. It's kind of making something cool. So it's like that made me want to do the same thing too, because I'm also an artist. But at the time when I was a kid, it was just a more thing of, am I good enough? Because you see all these artists, they're very talented. And, it was hard for me as a young kid to kind of push myself out there. I wasn't really much of a outgoing person. I was more so introverted, and I would like to draw and just keep to myself. So getting here to this point is very much like a blessing for me.
yeah, was awesome. I didn't know Kingdom Hearts had a manga. Like,
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of games actually have unofficial manga. Persona 5 does, Persona 4. I think that's for some of those nameless protagonists, that's where they get their canon name from. I think no, not their canon, but one of their names.
got you.
So yeah, some games actually have manga for them, and it's really cool. Some of them.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's amazing. I should look into that because I love the Kingdom Hearts series. I know I've heard of the game, the Persona games, but I
Yeah.
haven't I didn't know they had an official manga. That's actually pretty cool. Why don't they tell us these things? I don't know.
I don't think it's official. I didn't really look too deeply into it, but I know that it was a manga and they had it in the store, and I was like, I need that.
Yeah, got you.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what was the process for you over time of just creating your first your first drawing? You said Oblivion was your first
Yeah, like
unofficial like
my
how many
first
did you make?
official story.
That
Yeah, for like the process of it kind of was like learning how to become a better writer and kind of taking more from the world around me to make, because for me personally, one of the great biggest things for a story to me is the characters. You can
yep,
have a very strong plot, but if the characters are boring, people are not really going to want to travel with them and see their whole story and development.
yep.
So I'm a very I'm a very passionate believer that it's okay to start out generic or it's okay to start out cliche, because audience got to grab onto something.
Hmm.
They got to identify with something. As much as people hate cliche stereotypes, there's a reason why they're still prevalent.
Mm.
So, and it does. I don't think it's bad, but I think on what you do, you can like flip it on his head. You got people going thinking, okay, this character is that certain way, and then so you flip it on his head. Everyone now swerved.
Got you.
So for me, it was always kind of just making what I want. It was just having fun. It
Mm.
was That's kind of the whole thing for me as an artist. That over time, it became less about if I could do it and more so when I could do it, because I was having so much fun with it. I was creating stuff. Like I can go on and talk hours and hours about art and stories and everything, because that right there is like that's something I'm very passionate about. Even with other creators, I even tried to push that out of them.
Yeah, got you. That's amazing. So, you said Kingdom Hearts was sort of the inspiration a little bit, right? Was there any other inspiration that you saw as far like anime, manga, that was sort of like, yeah, bet I could do this, like like
There was none of them I saw. I said, yeah, I could do that. I was like, I'm gonna try. There's gonna
got
be
you.
an attempt. But Kingdom Hearts, while it inspired my hoodie again, Jesus Christ, I had to get a new hoodie now. This hoodie is preying on my downfalls.
Oh
See that?
man.
Ah. But Kingdom Hearts it didn't really inspire my art style. It just inspired me to make manga because I thought it was cool. But the thing that inspired my art style is Soul Eater, Bleach, and The World End with You. I really like those thick, hard lines that they do and the contrast, especially in The World Within Ends with You with the black and this dark shadows,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
as well as with Soul Eater, it felt, even though it like was a bit cartoony at times, it had its own individual style. Like each of the
Mm,
characters were unique, the story felt unique, the setting felt unique. It felt like it was very fun to watch, and it was very fun to kind of have my art style be influenced by that.
yeah.
And then you got Bleach, and Tite Kubo is one of the most amazing manga artists out there. Like the way he draws characters is really second to none, especially like designs. Like if you look at almost all those character designs he does for Bleach, it look like they can be their own character in their own series.
Wow.
God
Yeah,
bless
no.
Yoruichi. God bless Yoruichi.
Yeah, got you. Okay, bet. So, a little bit of the inspiration, right? Like a little bit of the backstory. What was support for you? Like, taking on, wanting to take on this, and now, right? You're wanting to make this. You are making this a career, right? You wanting this to be like your thing, where it's like, yo, this is what I want to do for a living. This is what I want to do full time. What was it like for you growing up as far as support with that? Was it like, 'cause I know at least from various different experiences, I know like people don't have the same experiences, right? But I know some black manga artists, some that I have as friends, their experiences like drawing manga, being in anime wasn't necessarily the best, and then some had they didn't have any problems. So what exactly was that like for you wanting to do this and people seeing your art, your drawing, stuff like that?
I'll say when I was like a kid, everyone loved it because I used to do like mini comics in class. But then when getting older, a lot of people just wasn't really having that idea anymore. They say you should probably mature your art style or like, draw some more mature stuff that people want to see. Because a
Mm.
lot of people don't want to read manga and stuff like that. Ha, look at us now. But it wasn't anything of like, oh, no one supported me or like they just actually went out their way to tell me it's stupid. They just like not like a lot of people actively supported me. They just kind of sit there on the sidelines of why I did what I did. So like now I got like a bunch of support. I'm with a great group of people like-minded on Saru Go. God bless all those guys there. I think my homeboy Frank is in here. God bless Frank. God bless Trey.
Yeah.
You gotta read, man. You gotta read. Oh, it's so much good stuff. I'm gonna get to that later. Best believe. I gotta get to that later. But it wasn't like a lot of people didn't. A lot of people supported me, but it it was a mixture. Some people was supporting me, but wasn't really fully into my dream as a mangaka. They only liked my dream as an artist.
Mm,
So they wanted me to draw like realistic stuff, stuff that would get me known or whatever. But I feel like art has kind of taken a path where now everyone doesn't think that realism is kind of the only true form of art. Because to me,
got you.
art is subjective, and you can kind of take anything you want. I mean, and look at it that way. Like a lot of people, some people may think that art style is kind of simplistic or it looks rough, but other people may really enjoy that style.
Hmm.
I think, like for me personally, I used to kind of be one of those artists that would compare myself to other artists, especially my friends, because I'm like, man, these guys can draw very well, and I still have so much. I still have a long way to go. But
Yeah.
one thing that kind of put into perspective for me that art is really subjective because a lot of those artists that I love and that I really love the art style, they like mine too. There's some features in my
Mm,
art style that they wish they could do that they can't do, and some things in their art style which I could do that I can't. And I think
yeah.
that breaks down into perspective that really and everyone can enjoy anything. And I don't think there's really a way to say, oh, this is bad art because if someone else enjoys it, it technically counts as art.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, it's good, and I think it's cool too in the age that we're in, or in especially in the internet age, social media age, where it's like you put out a style, like there are just bound to find at least a few people to like what you're doing. And technically, it's like, yeah, that's great art, like to them, right? And like you said, art is subjective, so it's like even that one person likes what you do, you're you're good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's really really dope. And I'm glad you have the support. Your boy Frank in here. He is going. He is rooting for
Hold on,
you. Like,
I gotta check the phone real quick. I gotta check the chat. Wait a minute. I
that
love that man.
yo it was like, yo. I'm glad you have that support. So I would just fit in, right? So I read the first chapter of Prophecy of the Nameless, right? I loved it. I really really loved it. So I want to dive in of like, hey, what inspired you to make that? What inspired you to kind of like go in a direction? Because you could explain it. You don't have to play any spoilers out, but kind of what made you like go that create Prophecy of the Nameless, the art style, stuff like that.
No, I'm spoiling everything, man.
Yeah,
Everything.
we here.
Don't read the manga. Just come to the live. But what inspired me to make Prophecy of the Nameless was kind of last year was sort of a rough year for me. Just I felt like I needed to just better myself, just in terms of more as an artist and as a person too. So it was like that year was really rough, and I wanted to change who I was, which was kind of the creation or birth of the persona of Prince Pandora. And the reason I made Prince Pandora is because I don't think anyone's truly ready to kind of take up the mantle of king. So I call myself a
Mm,
prince in order to learn how to become a king. Each fall, each time I get up, that's more experience, more knowledge I can take with me to kind of help better kind of being the king and controlling, which is my world, which is
mm,
my body and mind and stuff. And Pandora, she was named that after to be all gifted and all giving. And I like to believe that I am a gifted individual, and I would like to give my all to everything that I could be a part of, or anything I put my mind to. So for Prophecy and the Nameless, when I created that, it was also another extension of my evolution of what I want to tell. So with Riku, you see he's a bit of a hothead, and kind of I based some of the characters off people I know in my real life. So
mm,
for me, I also kind of base it off personal experiences and what I want to tell. Like, what do I want to say about my growth? That in the
mhm,
beginning, it's frustrating that you can't really find any answer. No matter how much you try to get yourself be taken serious, that you're still taken as a joke, or you're just you feel like you're a burden.
mhm,
So it's the story. It's kind of just about Jesus, not that. But what I was wanting to make the story is kind of like just a journal of sorts about my healing recovery that I can put into this story. In the beginning, there's ranks, there's everything. Even though Riku is nobility, he was born into it. I mean, not born into it. He wasn't born in nobility. His family got into nobility thanks to the action of his father during this war.
mhm,
So a lot of nobles, especially in this country, and which is Ventus, and Ventus is the kingdom of air. A lot of people don't really like that. Even like, if you're a commoner, you should stay a commoner. There's no reason a commoner should become a noble.
Mm.
Even if you fought a war, you have you're not really acting like a noble. You're just still a commoner, just with a noble name. So they don't like Riku because of that. So whenever they go to banquets, whenever they have gatherings, which isn't a lot of many times, but still a few times they had to put up with it. They make him and his family kind of like not the laughing stock, but the butt of the joke, and they can't do anything about it because do you really want to risk losing, your title or anything for the sake of that? But as you saw, Riku kind of just didn't care because even though he gets insulted, he doesn't like when people insult the people he cared for, which was Julius the wolf. With this story, kind of just like the whole inspiration, like One Piece. I love the world building in One Piece. Every time they go to a different island, it's a whole different vibe. It's like they even change their clothes. And I think that's kind of one of the cool parts too. Is like it makes you more involved with the world. It makes the characters more involved with the world. Like it isn't just a setting, it's also to me like another character. I can bring it right here.
Bro, that's amazing. I love I just love the plot, right? I love the sort of this like you said, like Riku, he's a hot-headed dude, and it seems like he just really doesn't appreciate the injustice that like people, like, as far as like nobility, how they treat is it like the lesser nobility, or is it ranks of nobility, like
There
is
is
that
with nobilities. You can think of like a regular hierarchy. You got the kings, the princes, the dukes, the archbishop. No, yeah, I think archbishop. The dukes, stuff like the earls and etc. So it follows those ranks, and the highest is obviously the king. The lowest is a baron. Which is, why they got the rank of a baron, because they couldn't really become too high in nobility chain because just because you fought in the war doesn't mean you get to be a prince. Like no, you got to be born into this. So they got them to be a baron. But also as well with story, because I wanted to point this out, is another thing that inspired me, because I wouldn't say I'm a big Zodiac fan, but I kind of like Zodiac a lot.
Got you.
The story is there's 12 Zodiacs and they're all gods, but they're split up into 4 sections, 3 of them in each representing that particular element. So if you got Aquarius, air, Pisces, water, and so forth and so forth. And the story, the place, the country the story takes place in, there's 4 kingdoms. Jesus, gotta get my hand in the camera. 4 kingdoms. Ventus said earlier, the kingdom of air, Rain, the kingdom of water, Terra, the kingdom of earth, and Enya, the kingdom of fire. Okay. So each of them, there's 3 gods, and that's there kind of as castles, like dungeons that you gotta conquer in order to get that particular weapon. And so in the story, Riku managed to become Jesus. Riku becomes.
You got spoiled if you don't want to, bro.
I mean, it's gonna happen, so it's not really a spoiler. Riku becomes a celestial warrior, and celestial warrior is someone who's conquers a dungeon. Now, in order to become a true celestial warrior, he has to gain all 3 of the dungeons, which is kind of like, if you're in the Wind Kingdom, you got to capture all 3. So for each kingdom, there's someone who captures each of them. So each kingdom already has a celestial warrior. Now here's this. Oh wait, I can't say that part. That part is a spoiler. I'm gonna save that for later. And also for the power system in the world, everyone is born with 1 elemental affinity that they can be assigned to, and they can't really use anything other than else. But when they use their powers, their eyes light up corresponding with the color of the power that is: fire, red, water, blue, ice, teal, and it goes on from that. Now, in this world, there are things called casters, which are basically mages, but the level that you have, there's 1 through 5, and 5 being the lowest and 1 being the highest, determines how good you are with your elemental ability. For instance, if you're a level 5 fire caster, you can't really do much. You're just doing mundane tasks with you're doing like day-to-day tasks with your magic. That's another thing too. I want magic to be a part of the world. Like they actively use it. They kind of do like small tasks with it. Like, the gas not working. Fire. Oh wait a minute. The gas not working.
Okay, there we go. I bet. that's really cool. With You're it reminded me of like you mentioned that like some of the nobility like doesn't care if like hey the other nobility I guess lesser nobility fought in the war, they still were just lesser than, right? And it kind of like that brought to my mind sort of the some of the experiences like that our ancestors like have experienced, right? Where it's like, yo, they fought in various different places, or they fought in Vietnam or whatever, and it's like they come back and they're not really treated as still being seen as people, which is like kind of crazy. As like in my big thing is right with anime, with manga, with honestly with a lot of different animated shows or whatever. It's like a lot of that is relatable to our everyday life in some way, shape, or form. So I love that like your story kind of like, at least for me, right? Like it just pointed that out where it's like, oh snap, like even if you are this really great war hero, you still have the possibility to treat it like you're not like you're nothing, which sucks because like at the end of the day, like you are still valuable as a person, but like
Yeah.
you have people that are just like have some sort of power and they look at you like, hey, you're still nothing. And it's like that kind of that sucks and that hurts. So I love that Riku, right?
Yeah.
I love that he's upset about that. And then at the end he just punches the guy in the face and is like, yeah, that's what I would do.
See, and I didn't want to like drag it out where it's like, oh, because I want you to fall in love with these characters first. I want you to get to know these characters, how they either would interact with each other or how they would act in a certain situation.
Mm.
And so far, the reception for the characters has been great. Everyone seems to love Laura, and unexpectedly, Riku's dad. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yo,
I was like, oh, look at Leroy getting this little face.
Yo, all right, cool. So, I would love for you to talk a little bit about your support, right?
Oh,
Ansaru Go,
sorry,
right?
bro. Yeah.
I would love for
Oh,
you to talk about them because you guys are lit. Like I saw in there. I was reading on there and going through it. I even saw the statement of like, hey, like can uh non-Japanese mangaka be manga art? And I was like, yes, this is what we
oh
need. So
yeah.
I would love for you to like kind of speak about the group and like, yo, just talk about that a little bit. Why you guys formed the group, stuff like that.
I wasn't there when it was initially formed. I know it's been around for a while, but it hasn't really had a chance to launch until recently.
Okay.
But when I was first doing Prophecy and Nameless, originally it was supposed to be a webtoons, and I was doing it with my artists. But I paid for an animation to get done, so as like a little teaser, I have it on my page. Like I got two now, but I had it on my page, and my boy Trey got again Trey Frank that guy my boy he showed it to my homie Seji, and Seji hit me up. We chopped it up, and I've been inviting Ogo, and everyone there is like it's phenomenal to work there because there's so many like-minded people. They have so many great ideas, and it's not really just surface level stuff. Everyone's put their entire being into the work. And we just released our app. We already have like over 100 people subscribed to it. It was great. I almost cried. It was enough to make a grown man cry, but not me. Couldn't cry, not yet. But there's like really again, like I know I keep saying there's like a lot of great work on it, but that's really how much it means to me because it's really hard, especially for me, like especially in this generation. At least for I keep saying for me, I feel like it's hard to kind of find people who really put that dedication into what they love. A lot of times, it's kind of some things to hold us back, or we don't feel like we're good enough.
Mm,
But and like other mental health things and life can just get in the way. But with these guys, life does get in the way. It does for all of us. Depression, it can really hurt. They still draw despite all that. They still create
that's true.
despite all that, and that's very inspiring.
Mm,
So it like inspires me, and like we all inspire each other just the way we just chop it up, collab, talk about our stories, and we read each other's stuff. We real life support each other. It isn't like we're all in the same collective and we're just using the brand as clout just to go off.
got you. Yeah, no, that's amazing. Like you guys got a real community there, which I think is needed, right? I think if you want to, I hear a lot about or I've been seeing videos on YouTube and stuff about like Japanese manga artists is like kind of just killing themselves over making content and stuff like that. And it sucks, right? It's like honestly the conditions of like to put out great art is like it's so demanding, and that's because also you want to be able to please the fans and like, like cater to the fans and stuff like that. But it's also like it can be very taxing. So it seems like kind of this community is like what is keeping you guys sane, pretty much.
Um, if I could, I would definitely drop like a chapter every week, but I don't really have that drive that they have down there. That work ethic to literally, kill themselves for manga. I would think I would like to try, not try that, but I would love to get my manga out there more, just like pumping it out like a machine. But I'm not a machine. I'm only human.
Mm,
I can only draw as much as I can.
mhm.
So it's really unfortunate because like those guys are legends, but they really, especially Oda. Oda really kills himself for One Piece, but
Yeah.
that's their dream, and it's like we can tell them don't do that. That's what they love. That's how they get their money, and that's how they're known. So it's like I understand putting in that much effort because I have the same drive and passion myself. But it's more like I also got to take into account my own health because if your car breaks down, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very important. Like you got to take care of yourself, right? And yeah, I would affirm you. It's just like, hey, take as much time as you need, right? You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
I think rest is important. I think we're not meant to, we're not meant to just run like machines, right? We're human beings, and we need to rest. We didn't need to enjoy rest. We have other responsibilities where it's like if we have stuff that we want to do that are like a passion and stuff like that, but we're also slaving ourselves away to be able to make that passion come like become a reality. It's not healthy, right? So I want to affirm you. You're doing great.
I just try to do the best as I can, man. That's the only thing we all can do at the end. But it's like as long as just keep working. That's basically it. That's all I want to do. Just keep working and keep grinding. Because I never thought I would get to this point. A lot of people, like in their childhoods and their dreams, they get to a certain point where like, can I still be able to do this?
Mm,
Because it may not be a lot of profit. Other people might say, "Oh, be a doctor, be something that gets you a lot of money." So being a mangaka, isn't really guaranteed that you're gonna make money. You're gonna get a hit series.
mm.
It's a lot of patience, a lot of grinding because you're trying to get people's attention. You're trying to get people to read your stuff. So it's like it's always a grind, and it's always trying to get better and keep consistent.
Yeah. What do you find as being the hardest thing about being a mangaka? Like, what do you find the hardest about like
No
even
filter.
could I say independent? Like you are with the brand. I'm sorry, go like, but
Yeah,
would you still are you guys still like independent as well, even though you're
yeah,
connected to this brand?
yeah. We're like, all stories are still like published under Osaru. You're going to get if you want to read the stories, you got to get to there first.
Got
But
you,
we're still like collective. We still
got
do like
you.
individual stuff because I got my own. I got a second series called Children New City, and it's with another place called Pulse Manga. Also love the
Okay,
people there in the rookie section. See, now I'm about to go on the tangent and rant because
go on the tangent, bro. That's what we here
I
for. That's what we
yeah,
want.
hold on. I got to take the hood off for this one.
Take off the
Yeah,
hood, bro. We
yeah,
here.
I
I
got to
might
take
as
the
well.
hood
I
off
might
for
as well
this one.
let the hair down too, bro. Come on now. I'm
Yes,
ready
sir.
for
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir. My fellow Rasta brother.
We here.
But no, it's like before just becoming like a full-time artist or just whatever, just chopping it up with other people again with the same like-mindedness as you and just seeing how hard they work. It really pushes you. Like shout out to my boy Toki Flow, and like he that man is fucking great. Oh dang, I cursed.
It's
That was the
fine.
first curse. That's
No,
the
no,
first
no,
curse
you're
word on
good.
the screen. I'm good.
We
I got. We good. I forgot. This is unfiltered. I have
nah,
unfiltered.
yeah, unfiltered, bro. We here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, nigga, we made it. Oh man, but I just like I don't know. It makes me so like happy to be a part of just a big movement that everyone just wants to have their story out and we just want to create.
Yeah,
And so it's like I could go individually each of them, but no, this it ain't the time right now.
yeah. I got you. I got you. Uh, is on Saru Go? Is it a collective of how do I say this? Is it black focused, or is it like a collective of like also other different like manga artists as well?
It's majority black focus. We do have someone who's not black with us. Shout out to Danny. I stole his meme earlier. He still upset with me about that. but majority, all of us are black. Um, so it's like a collective of black artists black creators, manga coming together just to create something big.
Got you. Cool. What has been the response like to that? I would love to know your opinions about that conversation too, because I know that's a conversation in the manga community. Some people don't care, but then you have some people that are just like, hey, only Japanese people can make manga. It's just like that's kind of stupid. But so I would love to know your thoughts about that. And even like any pushback against Ansaru or even you as far as like making like because I know some people are like, hey, like you promote yourself as a black if you promote yourself as a black manga artist. Some people are like, hey, like why are you saying you're a black manga artist? Just say you're a manga artist. It's just like, no. So yeah, I would love for your thoughts on that conversation.
Just like first off, anyone can make manga. Manga has kind of transcended just Japan. It's more international. So it's like anyone can make manga. If you look at a good example, the creator of Radiant is a Frenchman.
Mhm.
So it's like that's pretty cool. So like I hope that doesn't discourage anyone to kind of not make manga. I've had that thrown at me a couple times when I was beginning. Say, oh, this isn't real manga. No one's gonna want
Mhm.
to do this, but I still did it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's no, there's like I manga is manga. You can make manga, as long as you got the format and everything, you can. Or you
Mhm.
can, make Western manga, which is like when you read left to right instead of the traditional way, right to left. So I'm personally like, any you can make manga because if you can't, then it's pointless. Everyone is kind of transcended. Again, Japan, just Japan. Like anime is huge in America.
Mhm.
Like if you would have went back to like maybe 2007, 8, 10, it wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah.
It was like a
Yeah.
niche, but now it's big.
Yeah.
But I
No.
don't think Otoru has any pushback when it comes to like people saying it's not manga. I don't know for like every individual artist in there, but I know majority, and for the group itself, no one has any pushback for it. So far, everything has been very positive.
Got you. Cool. Nah, that's good. I'm glad there are people at this collective that's affirming that like, hey, like you guys can make you manga, right? And I think even I've only noticed that like this really only like this may just be a Western thing where people are really upset about like other people trying to make manga or anime. Like it's just like people are like, if it's not like if it's not from Japan, it is not considered manga. It's just like, do the people from Japan think that? Like do like just
Japan don't care.
yeah, yeah, like, and I'm just like, yo, like people really like go so hard for like this culture. I think it's great. I think Japanese culture is great, and it's just like if they're not saying anything about it, why are we like upset about it, right? It's like
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a crazy world.
it's
Um,
yeah, it's a weird thing because people like to gatekeep things that don't really belong to them that they can't really control.
yeah, yeah. It's I don't know what it is. I think it's in my view, it's like keeping like they're kind of viewing like Japan as not being this like westernized like colonialized, I guess, touch culture and whatever. And it's just like, hey, we need to keep it as pure as possible. And it's just like it's like if other people want to take their culture and put a twist on it, is it going to corrupt their culture or something? Like I don't think that's the case because with a lot of different things like Japan often looks at and they take it and make it their own. You know what I mean? I was just like I was telling someone the other day that I saw a video on YouTube from this guy that talks about Japanese culture or whatever, and he was interviewing guys with Japanese guys with locks. I'm like, what? Like that's a thing? Like, and
Oh man,
I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, bet, like, these people got locks, so they're just not locks. It's just like, I'm gonna be like, hey, like you got locks, they're different, they're a different sort of locks, you know what I mean? And that's okay. You know what I mean? That's okay. But it's really weird to me that people are like, yeah, like, people that are Japanese can't make manga or they can't make anime. It's like
and
yeah.
and it's like the weird thing too. The people that say that don't even like draw. They're not even artists.
Mm,
They don't even draw anything. They just say
yeah.
like, "Oh no, you can't be a mangaka. No, you gotta be from Japan." Like Japan, these nuts.
Yeah. No, that's facts though. Like honestly, like I think the weird thing about social media, about critics, right? And especially I've been noticing this, since doing anime relatable and being on YouTube, is that people that can't necessarily do what you're doing, or they just don't want to or whatever, they have the most to say about whatever, right? And it's just like,
Yeah, it's
if you
weird.
yeah, it's really weird. It's just like, if like I can understand if someone else is like, putting in the work or whatever, they're in the same lane as you, and they're just like, hey, like I think this could, make some type of critique or whatever. But it's like, if we don't make anything, right? If you're not doing this, it's like, why exactly does your opinion or your critique hold any weight? You know what I mean?
I think it's one of those things where people are scared that America is going to ruin their manga by making it woke or something like that.
That word is starting to me. It's as anyway. You know what I mean? So for you on the lighter note, right? Like, what would be like your dreams and aspirations for you, for yourself as a mangaka, and also just for Prophecy of the Nameless. You said the city of the
Children of the New City.
children of the new city. What's your dreams and aspirations for that going into the future?
I can actually show you Children of the New City because I got it as my wallpaper.
Oh, okay. We here. All right, there we go. Yo, that sound looks dope.
Like I said, I really like kind of like having fun character designs, and I'm gonna get to the other part later about the shark tooth. I got to push that propaganda out somehow.
There we
But
go.
obviously, the first thing would probably be like having an anime somewhere down the line. I think that would be really cool to just have my stuff animated for people to see. But I kind of, for right now, I want to like attend cons. If I want to attend cons, I want to meet new people. I want to just get bigger and just have fun with it. That's not just my
Mm.
main thing because I feel like once you lose your fun, you kind of lose the passion for it, and you won't have the best work. So it's always making sure you keep that passion alive and just. I definitely want anime in the future. I'm thinking about it right now. That's
Yeah.
but it's like I don't want to get swamped up and like, oh, I definitely going. This is going to be an anime in the future. This is going to be the biggest hit in the world. I got to make sure to keep myself at like a good level, just so I can. I just kind of make sure I keep myself at a good level head, like humble myself, because I've seen too many people just get a big head and ego and just kind of fumble themselves.
Mm.
So he's like, definitely I want to attend more cons. I would love to, work with other artists. If I could ever meet any famous any mangaka, if I could ever meet Tite Kubo or Hirikoshi, man, it'd be cool. Just like also have like other artists, big artists, kind of acknowledge my work. It's like it'd be pretty cool. It's like getting any art from anybody is from either my characters or for like just for me. It's always like a great blessing because people took their time out just do that for me.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's big. I want those things for you. Like, I am a huge supporter. I'm a huge supporter of you. I'm a huge supporter of your collective too. Of Unsor Girl. Like, I'm a huge supporter of you guys. It's just like, I want you to succeed. Right. I think it's important that, like, people that look like me and you, that like people coming up, like artists coming up, YouTubers coming, whatever it may be, that they see people that are like, hey, like, oh wow, they could do it, so I can do it too. Um,
Yeah,
so this is a little bit of a transition, right? So what for you? So your MC is is he's black, right? I'm assuming he's
yeah,
black,
he's
right?
black.
So what
No,
does
he's
that
a
mean?
different form of black. He's ebony chocolate. That's what he is.
Gotcha. So what is the for you? Is that intentional, or is it just like, yeah, just put him in there, but he could
Um,
be, the MC could change over time. Like, what is that like for? Cause I know, interviewing one of my friends a few months ago, he was saying that, hey, like one popular manga artist. I'm forgetting the name, but he had like a
a
white
white manga.
MC. I can't remember. I know he had like a white MC, but then later down the line he went into black MC. So now all of his side characters are all black. I
Oh
don't
yeah, I
remember who
think
that
you're
is.
talking about white.
Gotcha. So like, for you, is that intentional? And if it is, why is it intentional?
Yeah, it's kind of intentional. Mostly because, like I said, like growing up, I always draw like I wouldn't really draw many black characters.
Mhm.
So even until like I got into my teenage years, like 15, 16, when I was drawing black characters, I was drawing them with anime hair. I wasn't really drawing them with any Afrocentric features. And I remember one fateful day on the Facebook group chat, I posted a picture of my characters, and I kept getting bashed. I'm like 14. I'm getting bashed by people in their 30s talking about like how my character's drawn wrong because he doesn't have Afrocentric hair. He looks white, just black.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like that was pushed on for me. But then it's like I kind of got upset about it. I was like, well, maybe let me see how he looks, with dreads and everything. That's what like for my main character for Children of the City, Riku, it was definitely intentional.
Gotcha.
And I liked it. I was like, okay, I want to try more of like mostly with dreads because obviously I got dreads. I'm a big dread fan, so it's like I want to see what styles I could do with the dreads. I want to see like how I can give character to each of these people and everything. So it's like I like to kind of explore what can I do with black characters in terms of kind of giving them a design because I don't want to just give them the basic fade or afro and just call it a day. I feel like we can kind of do more because black hair is very. You can experiment a lot with black hair. Like you can do so much with black hair style in any way.
Hmm.
Um, like obviously you can have like Medusa, but like one of the things I kind of did first, like I experimented with, was kind of having um like a black character, but she was kind of like a plant girl. So she had two like flowers on the side of her head, like two kind of look like two big puffs, not puffs, but pigtails. And so whenever she kind of uses her power and like spores come and kind of fly out, the flowers bloom into an afro.
Wow.
I think of a lot of like crazy concepts a lot of times. There's like you can do that with black characters. I feel like you can be very creative, especially with like the hair and everything, how they dress. You don't have to kind of make them basic, and that's kind of like one of the things I do. Just they don't have, just putting up stereotype that black characters are just copy and pasted of just white
Mm.
characters.
Mm.
It's like we're our own characters. We can be our own thing. We're not just carbon copies, or people think that it's just mediocre.
Yeah. Wow. Nah, that's cool, man. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. And so I, a little bit, about to wrap up a little bit. I want to ask you, for anyone that's like coming up, right? That anyone
Mhm.
that's like kind of seeing you, will see you, and they're just trying to figure out like, hey, how do I do this? Um, what would be your advice to them, to any like inspiring manga artists?
Okay, so coming from Manga himself, the first thing, because I know you're gonna feel that self doubt of if I can do it, or like I gotta practice, I gotta get good at this first, I gotta kind of perfect this before I even go into that field. Wrong. It's a leap of faith. Just take the dive in, and you have to learn as you go. The best way to make manga is to make manga. You
Mm,
can't learn it before in advance. You got to go through it, learn what your style is, and learn what you want to do. Study the greats, Tite Kubo. Instead of reading the manga, study what they do with their anatomy, their storytelling, panels, etc. So it's going to be overwhelming, and then you're going to be very scared because you might think, I need to practice my art more. I need to get the anatomy better. Just do it. I'm not perfect at art myself, but I go out there and do it because I enjoy it. This is what I want to do.
mm.
So I know like over time I'm going to get better, but for right now, I need to get my feet wet. I need to do everything I can to get that experience.
That's you. How do you fight? And this probably be helpful for any manga artists that are coming up too. Like, how do you fight against that mental like pressure, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
to you see a lot of manga artists that seem like that have been doing it for a good while, but they, like you said, they've been like you said, they're starting. There's this like, hey, like they're not as good as the other person. How do you deal with that mental pressure to want to just try to be ahead of your experience, if I would say that?
It can be very hard because a lot of times you're just fighting yourself. Someone can tell you, I love your art, but at the end of the day, it's like I know they say that, but what about other people? What I got
Mm,
to do? It's going to be really hard, but the best thing to do is keep drawing like consistently. If you're feeling sad, frustrated that you're not good enough, translate into art. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as you create, you're progressing.
mm. Yeah. Is he like, yeah, no, keep.
Yeah. Also, like people like again with like comparing artists and everything. Everyone's always worried about getting to the finish line, but that everyone's worried to get to the finish line. It's not a race; it's a marathon. You don't have to worry about getting there first, as long as you get there.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta keep practicing. Like I'm not a manga. I can't draw for nothing. So like but I think that even that principle applies to a lot of different things, right? Where it's like you
Yeah,
gotta keep doing it, you gotta keep practicing, you gotta keep whatever you're doing. If you're playing a sport, if you're a video content creator, whatever, you just gotta keep doing it, right? And I think as human beings, like we're just very fearful beings, right? We're very
yeah,
fearful creatures. So I think the even the thought of having someone like you're putting so much hard work into what you're doing and someone saying like having the thought that like like this isn't what I like, this is like that can like cripple your whole entire being, which
yeah.
sucks, right? um but got to keep going, right? And over time it just gets better, it just gets better, you
And it
yeah.
also helps to kind of makes you check your progress, like not progress, but your evolution. Like go back and you can look at your art or your whatever you're doing a year ago and look where you're at now. It gives you that boost that even though I still have a long way to go, I've come far to this point.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so you heard it from the goat himself. Keep grinding. That's what we need. That's what you need to
Uh,
do. Practice makes perfect. More practice makes it even more perfect. That's where we're at.
and it
So
also doesn't hurt to have like a good support system with your art. Because again, we could be doing this ourselves, and sometimes the words people say can kind of go through one ear and out the other. But kind of having people there to kind of support your dream and what you want to do really kind of makes you want to keep pushing, not only for yourself but for them too, for the people that believe in you.
yeah,
Because my
gotcha.
ultimate goal as an artist, not even just like from the manga property Nameless, but my ultimate goal as an artist is to go from undesirable to undeniable. That people may not like what I have or like me, but they're going to acknowledge that I can do some good stuff.
Mm, got you. Yeah, that's that's great. I love that. I love that.
It's like we got to have confidence, and we just got to make because I just want to support everybody, but I also want to put my energy out in the world
Yeah,
to prove that I existed and that I'm remembered for something, that I did something in this lifetime.
got you. Yeah, so is that like sort of like, hey, like putting so much intentional effort, putting so much work into it where it's like you said, you want to be undeniable. Like you want to be like, hey, like this is what I did, and like you can't deny that I'm this is great. Like is that
Yeah,
sort of the vibe, sort of like the greatest of all time type vibes, or is like where we at?
I don't think I want to be the greatest of all time. Like it would be fun, but it's like with those kind of with that kind of not power, but like kind of perspective where people look at you like one of the greats, you're kind of under a microscope and people kind of may scrutinize your move or your little mistake. I just want to make something that people like, people have fun with, and if they can relate to it, help them with it. That's just my main thing. I just want something that I love, people love, and everyone can enjoy. If I happen to turn out to be the greatest of all time, then that's an extra bonus.
Yeah, gotcha. You heard it here, folks. He will unintentionally be the greatest of all time. That's where we at.
That's new anime right there. I traveled to a new world and unintentionally became the strongest. Right there.
Got you.
Kirk won't get it. Get my
So,
man Eli as the main character. He needs to be in this.
oh man. So I've been doing this last thing. I've been doing this. What is your most? This is a little fun thing. What is your most controversial anime manga opinion?
Oh, well, I gotta
Something
think about
something that
this.
will get you something that will get you canceled to the end of the earth. It's safe here
Uh,
though.
I gotta think. I gotta think about this one. I need to choose what I want to be canceled about.
Oh man.
I don't really think I have anything controversial to say. I mean, I gotta think. I mean, aside from, I think the opening to the Jujutsu Kaisen song, like the first season, is mid. That's probably like one of my only things. I'm pretty. Yeah, I don't really have any controversial takes. Everything's just been kind of. Yeah, I don't have any takes. Sorry.
Got
This is
you.
my
Jujutsu Kaisen.
controversial. Yeah, the opening is mid. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I can't get jiggy with it. I can't. I can
Got
lean with it, but I can't rock with it.
I can leave with it, but I can't. Right, yo, I'm sorry using that. No, that's true. I don't think it's that good either. So I agree with you. So if we get canceled, we end it together. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we gonna be in this together. We gonna be in this together.
Cool,
Wait,
bro.
I gotta push my propaganda.
Yeah,
So
good.
like, the Shark Teeth supremacy thing. It's not actually like a real thing. It's kind of something I made up because I'm a really big fan of like characters with jagged shark teeth because it looks so cool. So it's like I kind of made a whole thing. And like I draw a lot of characters that have shark teeth. In fact, if you just look at the picture I showed you earlier, what's this right here? Shark
Yeah.
teeth.
Yeah.
I just love just drawing that because like I love expressions too. So it's like if I get expressions with the mouth and the tongue, just kind of make it look kind of. I like having chaotic and cool styles. Like it really
Mhm.
inspired by the world with you. But Shark Tooth Supremacy, I just believe in it. I believe in it. Listen, if you show me a character right now with shark teeth, I'm folding. Origami, fresh day of laundry, I'm folding.
Got you. No, I love that too. There's one of my favorite anime characters. I don't know if he has shark teeth all the time, but Natsu from Fairy Tail. He has in certain scenes he has like when he's like being like devious or he's trying to like
Yeah.
whatever he has shark teeth. I'm just like yo, I love that. Like so I love when the characters have the sort of like it kind of plays into a little bit of humor where it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, like I'm about to like, do something to this man. I don't know. It's like when it's like, when you have like a really strong character and like they're facing another strong character and it's like, this man is out of your league, but you also want to fight him anyway. And it's just like, yeah, I'm about to do it. I'm just like, wow, shark
That
teeth
sounds
right
like
there.
Black
So,
Star. That sounds like Black Star.
yeah, so that's cool. So where can people find you? Where can people find your content? Where can people read your stuff? If you have merch, where can people buy that? Yeah.
I'm working on merch right now. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. You're gonna get that prophecy and Nameless merch. But you can find me on Instagram at Lord Cage Sith, like the Cage Sith from Final Fantasy VII. I'm also on Facebook as Prince Pandora and Twitter as Cage Sith as well, but under the username All Hail the Prince, but the is DA. So I mostly post art on my Instagram and my Facebook. So if you want to follow me on Instagram or whatever, it's be a blessing.
Got you.
Of
Yeah.
course, I can't follow you on Instagram because I'm always following you already. I mean, I can
Hey,
unfollow you and do it again.
I'm dead. No, all of your stuff, like all of your links to your manga stuff, that will be in this video, so people can find you as easy. So I always love like, and also the clips and stuff too. All of that would be available to people so they can be able to read your stuff. Because I'm all, like I said, I'm all for supporting you, right? So
And I
there we
appreciate it,
go.
man.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. So there we go, guys. Prince Pandora has graced us with his presence.
And
And
I had to come here, Eli. I had to
yeah,
come here for my boy.
yeah, yeah, we here. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Guys, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you know any other manga artists that you would want to like, get interviewed and hear their story, drop them below. I'll try my best to get in contact with them. But this is Anime Relatable. Thank you guys for watching so much. And yeah, we until next time.
Hey, thank you guys. Have a good one. Oh Lord.